Digital Media.
Come on!
Broadcast Hippo Digital Media.
In the morning is back.
There we go. That's how the show starts. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'm Andrew Z. I see Chris Tiefel in the house. Tiefel, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You literally see me. You just said you saw me.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I hear you because you hadn't said anything. So,
That's because That's because you started the show without doing any sound check.
TikTok influencer Dexter. What's up, Dexter?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Now, here's how I want to start. Here's how I would like to start.
Are we sure Dexter's there?
Well, I hear Dexter.
I'm here.
Right, Q. He's on it. Now, Dexter, I got to start with your TikTok about KFC. Very informative. I did not know. You got to tell the people.
Oh gosh. So I ran across this article, and I remember as a kid growing up, I remember at first, you saw the restaurants, it had the full name Kentucky Fried Chicken on them.
Right.
you got the big, big tub of chicken.
Yeah.
Have the full name around it.
Yeah.
And then I just remember as a kid, suddenly, it wasn't even just like the packaging that just started saying KFC. It was the actual like restaurants. They're like actually like changing the name of it. And I was curious. I was like, why did this happen? And so
I always thought KFC was just a nickname for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Just like, hey, I'm going to go to KFC, but I didn't know they actually changed their name, right?
Right. Yeah. Like legally, like the company like changed the name. And like there's like the whole rumor mill. It was like, oh, it's like, mutant chickens that they're serving. It's not real chicken, so they can't have that in the name. And I was like, I just went with it. I was like, okay, sure.
Oh, wait. So the rumor was that they couldn't use chicken in the name anymore because they weren't using real chicken?
Right. Like the percentage of chicken in the chicken wasn't like legit or something like that. And so I just went with it. I was like, okay. I'm still going to get a 2-piece and a biscuit, but come to find out, it actually was a legal thing about money with the state of Kentucky, basically licensing the name Kentucky back in, I believe, 1990. And so I think it was like the owner at the time was like, well, wait a minute, I don't want to pay licensing fees to the state of Kentucky just because this is my business's name. And so they're like, well, hey, you know what? People have been calling it KFC all along anyway. So we're just going to go to court, change the name. And guess what? We're not going to pay those fees.
That is so interesting. So ever since you said in 91, so ever since then they've called it KFC, and I just assumed it was just Kentucky Fried Chicken, was just shortening it to make it cool because that's what everyone was calling it. But legally, they took Kentucky out of the name because they didn't want to pay Kentucky.
Yes,
great. It's great. It's funny you talk about the mutant chicken thing. Did you know? Because there's a big ice cream war going on in the city where I live, and
we live in the same area. What is this ice cream war? I haven't heard of this.
Well, I don't want to call anyone out because they're all good people, but because we have several ice cream shops in Perrysburg, which is the suburb which I live, and the ice cream war is there's this one ice cream shop that gets all the business. I mean, every year there's lines. It's people wait for it. It's seasonal. It's the greatest thing ever. Whatever. Well, there's another ice cream shop down the road which does very well as well, but they're not quite as busy as the other one. The other one's been there a lot longer. It's an institution. Everyone goes there. Blah 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 blah. Well, the other ice cream shop that doesn't get quite as busy. Once I was talking to them, and I'm like, oh, so you guys aren't very busy. Yeah, but they're busy down the road. They serve that stuff. They said you can't, they're not even legally allowed to call the stuff that they serve ice cream because I guess he says his contention is that it's the cheapest stuff. That I guess ice cream is you have to have a certain amount of, I don't know, it's butter fat or a certain amount of milk or what I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I was about to say, then what is it?
Like, it's like ice almost like it's like
no cream,
like ice down there. Yeah, you couldn't even you can't even call it ice cream legally. The stuff they buy. He's like, I buy the good stuff, and people don't even come. So he was all pissed. But they still call it an ice cream shop. I don't know. I don't know what the legal definition. What is the legal definition of ice cream? Tivo, can you look that up?
Legal definition of ice cream? I'm going to go with like cream and sugar.
Well, I know, but is there certain mixture, like a percentage, like before you can call it ice cream.
Let's see. According to 7 CFR 58.2825, ice cream shall contain at least 1.6 pounds of total solids to the gallon, weigh not less than 4.5 pounds to the gallon, contain not less than 20% of total milk solids, constituted for not less than 10% of milk fat. In no case shall the content of milk solids not fat be less than 6%.
See, and then it's those numbers where I guess that if they're below that, you can't legally call it. Which, did you know there was a legal definition to ice cream until right now? I didn't even know that was even a thing.
Definitely didn't. And like, is there like a milk shortage now or something? Like, how can they not get these milk ingredients to meet the minimum?
It's cost. So that he buys the cheap shit. He was saying that they buy the cheap shit because it's so cheap that they don't even put the right amount of milk fat in there because they save money or whatever. I don't know. Anyway. Natasha said Dexter's face and she's laughing. And Shelf says I can't stay long, but good morning, everybody. Good morning, Natasha.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. Today is for us, Dexter, it's a big day. It's opening day for our Toledo Mud Hens, which is a minor league baseball team.
Why do they always open when it's cold?
It tends to be cold when they open. I don't know if they can move the season down a little further in April or something, because like right now it's going to be cold today. It's not going to get 70 on Monday. 70s finally.
70s.
Warm weather on Monday, but you only had one warm weather day in all of freaking April or March rather, and it was St. Patrick's Day. We had one sunny 70-degree day, and then the rest of the month was just shit. And today's going to be shit as well, but opening day. Yeah, I don't know. Dexter, do you go out and party?
I mean,
younger guy.
It's I have to space it out now. That's the big problem.
Yeah.
It's like I have to, it makes me realize my age, because it's like all it takes is like not even the night. It'll just be like the pregame, like just getting ready, and then like you finally get to the party and I'm already like looking at my watch, like, all right, how long is this going? Like,
really?
When do we get to go?
I know, or if it's past 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, you're like, oh god, I gotta be home. I'm usually home.
The next day, I feel like I need like a hover round. I need my AARP card. I need someone to fetch me water. Like I can't function.
I know it's like you need 48-hour recovery time now if you go out once. It's
48 hours. I need a week.
And then there's some anxiety to it. It's like, oh god, just the going out. There's some anxiety about I'm not gonna get my sleep. Blah blah blah. I usually home. What am I doing? But I just don't go out anymore. It doesn't seem. And I'm okay with it because like opening day used to be my jam, because it starts, we pregame early in the morning, goes till late at night. The whole town is out and partying. And I'm like, it's just, I don't really want to be a part of it, but I remember how much fun I had. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. Go ahead, Dexter.
Well, another thing too is, especially during like, shutdown and all that stuff. Yeah. I got used to being my own bartender. Like it was like, club decks. Like I was like, you know what? I want another drink. Oh, barkeep. Oh wait, that's me. Let me go up and make it. No line. And you know what? I'm gonna tip well. Wait a minute, I'm tipping myself. Like now that back in the world, it's like
I still don't go over 20%
lines again, and like covers, and like the drink prices are insane. I'm just like, wait a minute, I could do this in my house.
See, this is why I like living in Toledo and like just the Midwest in general. I can count on my hand the number of places that actually have a cover. Like,
yeah, true, Dexter. Yeah, the cover's an unusual thing. Matter of fact, I've had this debate with bar owners many times where they want to charge a cover. I'm like, there's really only 2 places in town that can get away with a cover and still pack the place. The other ones, people will just go. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a bar for a year on the campus of the local college, University of Toledo, and it was free. But I mean, we were packed, like 45-minute wait to get in. It was crazy, fun, blah blah blah, whatever. Craziness ensued, And the day that I decided to try to charge a cover,
Uh-huh.
the place was empty and everyone was on the street. And I'm like, well, that did not even though we had the hottest place on campus, the hottest place. Once I tried to charge a cover, that hotness went right away. And I'm like, oh God, Toledo does not support cover at all.
I would never pay a cover.
See? It's
Never.
that right there that's fucked me. It's
Yeah.
that
Well, it depends on who's entertaining too, though. Sometimes it has to do with what the live show is. If it's a DJ, a band, certain bands and certain DJs.
The
kinda
bar
pull that
pays.
kinda-
I never understood the cover. The bar wants the band there to fill the place, so they make more money. But then they charge you a cover, so they're not the ones footing the bill for the band they want there for you to be there to spend more money at the bar. Just spend your own damn money and make more money because I'm there.
But here's what happened. Here's what
It
happened.
depends on who it is.
In the
Oh, sorry.
old days, bands would be out play once or twice a week, right? That means that you could go out and see them. It was a big deal, blah, blah, blah. Well, then bands got lazy over the years and decided this was their full-time job. So they'll play on the weekends, but then they'll play a duo during the week because they're cheaper. So they play 5 days a week. So if you miss them at Village Idiot, you can catch them tomorrow at Bar 145, and the next day you can catch them here. So it's not a thing anymore. So bands don't have draws, Tiefel. If you're going to have music at your place, if you're a place that's known for music, that's the draw. Not any particular band really is the draw anymore.
Yeah,
So-
bands are more to keep people there rather than bring people in. At this point.
Yes, that's said it perfectly. Now, Gina, we were talking about before you and Donnie, I know you had something to say. We're talking about today's opening day. Everyone's going to be out. The whole town goes out for opening day, and how I don't miss going out. And I don't know if I don't miss it. Like,
You know what I miss? You know what I miss about going out is like, I don't even know if there's probably a word for it, but like your whole, like everybody you only know from going out. Like like their existence in your head is who they are at night, and like their real lives have nothing to do with it. Like, and
So
it's like the coolest world to live in because you're just whoever you want to be, and it's just I miss it. It's like your family. I haven't been out since before I joined your show because we used to get up so early. So like I haven't really been on the scene since like 2009, 2008, and it's like I wonder once in a while I think back and wonder what those people are up to. And I just saw one of them. What's up, Siwa? He's like a realtor. He's like friends with Ashley, and Ashley, hey, do you know this guy? I'm like, and I look him up. I'm like, oh my god, it's one of my bar friends. He does have a life. He does exist outside the bar world.
we used to have crazy times, crazy fun times, and then now like I don't want to go out though. It's not like I miss it. It's not like I'm like, oh my god, I have to. Like I dread going out for some reason. I don't know what happened to me. Go ahead, Dexter.
Well, and then Donnie, speaking of the bar friends, like looking back, I remember like full on nights where like, you know, I would get to the bar maybe like, you know, a little before 10. And then like I look up and like, you know, it's last call. And like, how am I still here? And then I'm also looking up and I'm in this deep conversation with like one of these bar friends. And like, we're like laughing, we're like crying, like everything's going on. And then I wake up the next day and I'm just like, what did we talk about? I remember nothing about this person other than what they were drinking. Like, I don't know their life at all.
So, you guys don't have this privilege of the women's bathroom thing, but I know like Natasha and Brenda are listening. They know women's bathrooms are the weirdest place at bars because like you'll have like these really deep, life-changing conversations in the bathroom. Like people will come out crying, and it is the women's bathroom is the weirdest fucking place at bars, you guys. It's amazing. You'll be best friends with somebody coming out of the bar, and then like you said, Dexter, you wake up the next day like, why did I have that conversation? Like you disclose things about yourself that you wouldn't tell other people. It is the weirdest shit in the women's bathroom.
Well,
Your family.
It's a weird place to meet up with your family, Donnie.
It's the bar fam.
It's your bar family. It's so true. When you're a regular on the bar scene, you do. Like Donnie said, there are people you just see at the bar, and that's the only way you know them. And you see them out in the wild during the day, you're like, oh my God. Like Donnie said, he exists.
You hide.
Yeah, and like it happens all the time. Like people come into work and they'll talk to other people at work, and I'll walk up to them and like join in the conversation. Like instead of it being 10 years, like it was 10 minutes. We're just like hugging and hey, high fiving. And then when they leave, I ask my friend, like, so who is that? Because I know them from somewhere. Oh yeah, it's one of my bar friends from 2009.
Natasha said, fuck around and end up having a whole party just in the bathroom.
It's true. Like, guys,
Hell
if you
yeah.
ever look, if you're ever at a bar and you look up, you're like, where did all the girls go? Where are the women? We're in the bathroom partying. It's a free party in the bathroom.
You know what the frustrating part is for a guy that doesn't drink? Okay, if I make a plan, that plan is solid. I don't have to talk to you again. It's like, hey, Tuesday, if it's Saturday, you're like, hey, Tuesday noon, let's go. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. You can't make plans with drunk people because they're never solid plans. Like it's like, all right, hey, tomorrow let's go get brunch. Yes, 11 o'clock, we're all gonna be at blah blah blah. We're gonna get brunch. It's like 2 a.m. You're like, yes, as soon as we get up, we're gonna go get brunch tomorrow afternoon. We'll be there, and no one ever fucking shows up, even though they made a plan.
I don't even have
like
to drink to cancel plans.
You guys, that's
You
like
can
a whole thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gina.
No, go ahead.
Good, Donnie.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, that's the whole thing is making plans when you're drunk at the bar. Like, you're like, we should go on vacation. We should go Florida. And listen, you guys. One time, me and a bunch of dudes actually like followed through with it. Like, a friend of mine worked at Kalahari, and every once in a while he'd be like, we should go up there, you guys. I get really cheap rooms, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna go. And like for like 2 years, and then finally he's like, hey, we're gonna do it. We're going next weekend. So like me and like 7 dudes that I barely knew from the bar went to Kalahari and had like 2 rooms and just partied at Kalahari for like a night.
Oh my God. How was it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was weird when we went to bed because I was like sleeping and I shared a bed with this guy who was snoring, and I'm like, I only know this guy from the bar and the gym, and it's like
oh my God.
How was the cuddles?
Yeah, did he cuddle well?
I told you I knew him from the gym. They were very strong and secure. Strong and secure.
Good. Oh shit, that's so funny. What else? Anyone got anything going on?
So talking about the bar friends and planning things. So I actually booked a trip with a friend at a bar once.
While you were drunk?
At the bar, booked flights. To Florida. Yes.
Oh
this was going to be the best beach vacation of life. So excited. It was just like, okay, we're right by the water. Like, this is gonna be this great, like, 5-star hotel. So next morning, I look at the booking that I realized I had made. And it was completely landlocked. Like, there was no water anywhere in sight. The hotel, this 5-star hotel in my head, was like more like a hojo. Like, it was barely even a hotel. And I literally had to call. I forget how I booked it. I had to call them and be like, hey, so I made this little mistake.
That's
amazing.
That's the commitment I've ever heard of while drunk.
But I went.
Yeah, you went.
Yeah. It was.
Did you have a good time?
He bought non-refundable tickets.
Yes, that too.
Wow, that's the best. That's the biggest, like I said, biggest.
Did you have fun though? I guess that's the bottom line. Did you have fun?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Everything went completely wrong. Like all of my expectations just went completely left.
That's funny.
Those are the best memories.
I know.
They're horrible at the time, but great memories later.
Yeah,
true. You look back. You always look back to the shit that went wrong. That's the stuff that you do remember from anything from years ago. Oh my God, remember that time we got stuck on the side of the road, and you always remember those times that something went wrong. I think you remember those more than the good times. Is it possible?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, that's not my reality. I try to not remember the bad things.
No. Okay. What else is going on? Oh, Joe Exotic, our friend Joe Exotic.
Oh.
How's he doing? How's old Joe doing?
He's moving on in the love department, even from behind bars. He filed for divorce from his estranged husband, Dylan Passage, last month.
Is it really estranged when you're the one that got sent to federal prison?
That's what they're calling it.
I mean, if he's
I'm surprised they held
ignoring
on
him
this
in
long.
prison, yeah.
What's that, Don? What's that, Gina?
So if he's like not visiting him or writing him, then he'd be estranged, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right.
Didn't he marry him while he was in prison? Or
I don't know.
maybe right before.
Is it weird, you guys, that the Tiger King whole like obsession seems like a fucking lifetime ago right now?
Right.
Like it's been 2 years, and it honestly right now it that could be 10 years. I remember shit from 10 years ago better than that. Like that time frame. I'm looking at my like Facebook memories, and I'll look at like 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I look at the quarantine stuff at the beginning of quarantine. I'm like, what in the world?
Well, do you remember too, like when quarantine was going on, everyone's like, our new normal. Things will never be the same again. And now I barely remember quarantine. Like things are exactly the same.
Well, first of all, the only real quarantine, like looking back at those memories, we never really like some of us did quarantine, but like the reason that this was so bad is because people didn't. Like there were still parties happening and things like that going on.
Yeah.
So
we're not out here.
But Donnie, yeah.
What I remember the most is like the fear, how we felt, like up here is what I remember the most, because like right now, 2 years later, I'm just having like those customers that were buying cars in March and April of 2020 they're starting to like renew and come in. And it's like, I'll start talking to them like, oh my God, you guys remember you were here like March 20th and everything was just happening. Like, how are you? So it's like, we shared that mindset 2 years ago, they're in that world, that moment in time where like, just so much fear and apprehension of the unknown, and now it's like 2 years later, like, hey, how are you? You remember?
Go ahead, Dexter.
I remember when Tiger King was like the craziest thing I'd ever seen on Netflix. Remember that feeling?
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, this is wild. Like I, saw the first couple episodes and just kept getting like weirder and weirder and like spiraling out of control. And I was like, oh my God, what kind of story is this? There's nothing else like that out there. And then fast forward to today, and like every week something's coming out where I'm like, I gotta
Tiger
binge
King
this.
Kind of tame.
It does.
Joe Exotic's not the craziest motherfucker out there.
No. We thought he was. Who knew? Oh my God. So okay, I gotta tell you guys my crazy story too. Okay, but first, so anyway, he's now he's filed for divorce from Dylan Passage, and now he's met Autumn Blackledge.
A woman?
That's the attorney. He met some new guy in prison. I can't think of the dude's name. I don't know. But anyway.
Can prisoners get married?
Apparently.
Like to each other?
I want to read you some of this stuff because this just came up the other day.
Mm-hmm.
When I was posting about Tiger King, I had posted it's the whitest show on television, the whitest white shit in the Snow White Kingdom. It's white. It's white tea soaked in bleach, and washed in OxyClean white. You guys, there are some really funny ones in here that people were commenting on how white this show is.
I mean,
let's see.
I thought that keeping tigers was like a white thing, but Tyson had a tiger, so I kind of threw that out the window.
So many missing teeth.
No, having the tiger isn't the white thing. Having a park in which you have a bunch of tigers
Yeah.
as well as concubines is a white thing.
Oh my God, he did have concubines.
So I said, it's gun, sex, murder, polygamy, wildlife, snitches, and mullets. They let bears and tigers lick them in the face and in the fucking mouth. That's how we got COVID. These were my comments on Tiger King when it first came out.
We got COVID.
Yeah, I would say, black people, we don't have parks and we don't have mullets. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
Now I'm on to scammers. Like, okay, it started with Inventing Anna, and then it went on to we're watching a show now called Fire, and this is about it's crazy because the guy from Fire had met up with Anna. Yes, Firefest. Thank you, Donnie. Had met up with Anna during the Anna show. So first heard about Fire. Well, Fire was this music festival that was going to take place on an island.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it was all in the news. But I'm watching that now. Which is crazy. All these people went to this island and got scammed out of tons of money, and this dude never. he was trying to put a whole concert on the island, like bring 10,000 people. Like this island didn't even have infrastructure. It didn't have porta potty. It didn't have plumbing. Rather, it didn't have electricity.
You didn't buy a ticket to Fire, did you? While you were drunk?
No, I just remember like. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, this must be legit because Ja Rule is like the person."
Yeah,
that's also like the co-founder planner of this.
He broke Ja Rule in what, Tifo?
I said, are all the lawsuits even settled yet?
That
whole thing?
Oh my God, that guy's a piece of work. How far have you gotten in his story? Because I don't want to ruin anything for you.
20-30 minutes. No, don't ruin it yet.
All right.
I know that
so much better.
I just settled on my lawsuits. Fuck you, Debbie. Okay, so anyway, I feel like I'm in a Netflix special now. Like I'm living one. And I'm going to tell you why. So my former lawyer, friend of mine, we've stayed friends all this time. He's had his own rough shit go on. I've had my rough shit go on. And so I don't know how much of the story I could tell without it being weird or boring and not you guys not understanding it. But he was driving in Michigan one day about 2 years ago and just saw some random property, just an open field. He bought the field that day. He bought the field, and I know how it started. It started. He had a client that was illegally growing marijuana. He was a marijuana kingpin, and Bo was like, "Look, dude, you can't get in trouble. I mean, you're going to get in trouble." He goes, "Let me find you something legit in Michigan." So Bo went and was just driving around in Michigan, found a property. And the dude wasn't interested. He couldn't get him to do it legally. He just wanted to continue. So Bo's like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Bo bought the property that day. Fast forward 2 years. He's now has more licenses to grow marijuana in Michigan than any other current pot producer.
Grower.
So someone's got one grower's got 40 licenses. Bo has 60 licenses.
Whoa.
Bo funding in December for $5 million. The building is already up. And I was like, Bo, you have to do a fucking Netflix special. So we just hired a film crew yesterday to film the end run. He's about 75% done to film the last 25%. And so then Bo's like, all right, well, we're all going to it's in a city called Addison. The town is 600 people. So he's like, we're all going to the city council because Bo now has a team of about 30 people that are building this grow of marijuana. So he's like, we're going to go to the city council meeting. We show up at the city council meeting. There literally are 6 people there. There's the 4 councilmen. Then there's a secretary, and then the dude that runs the plow machine. So there's 6 people in this room. We come with 25 people to this fucking meeting.
They're probably scared. They think they're getting jumped.
Oh my god! I gotta show you. Hold on, Gina, please. I know. I apologize, you guys. I wasn't planning on telling the story.
They're like, do we have enough chairs?
Right. Yeah, we were pulling. They're in the volunteer fire department office, and they're pulling in chairs from the rest of the place. Gina, please, if you could share this picture, Gina, I just sent it to you. they're pulling chairs from the rest of the fire department just so we can have enough chairs for people to sit. And they said, well, we don't have enough money to put the field for the kids are we going to be able to get it ready to go? Bo's like, I'll put clay down and lights. They're like, really? Sure. This is last night. It'll like 9 o'clock.
Awesome.
The 4 city council members are in front.
Are you putting a park in the middle of a pot field? Is that what just happened?
No, wherever they have their fields, he's gonna go ahead and throw he's gonna buy clay for them because they need clay, and he's gonna put lights up, and they're like so excited because it's a town of 600, and this is gonna bring in millions of dollars, and it's like a real thing. Like he took me there. And I'm like, the building is already up. It's a giant warehouse, like bigger than fucking, I don't know. It's huge. And I'm like, holy shit, this like shit's really going to happen. Because when he first told me, I'm like, come on, man. It was just a piece of land. There was nothing. There was nothing. And now he's like weeks away from starting the biggest grow in Michigan. It just felt so surreal last night to be part of this because I just got pulled in at the end. I knew he was doing it, but I like got pulled in at the end. And like I said, dude, we have to film this because I think Netflix is gonna buy this shit. It was just,
yes.
So, and the people at the city council meeting, they're smiling ear to ear the whole time. They're like, "Yeah, Bo, that's a great idea." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Oh my god, you got this whole town is like loving this dude."
So how do you reach?
Go ahead.
How do you reach out to Netflix? You just send them an email like, "Hello, Netflix, dear Netflix,
Mr. Netflix."
You're muted.
Oh,
Something
we lost
happened.
you. We lost you.
No, your mouth is moving. God, this is like
I'm
a
sure
dream of
it's-
mine for a long time.
It's a weird
Holy
way to say
crap.
the word nightmare.
Oh no, like him not being able to hear him, that's an amazing thing. Like, oh,
So
shitty.
so many
stuff.
amazing things were said, and we missed it.
Oh man. I'm just curious. I probably should wait for Andrew to get back on, but I wonder because it's got to go to the Supreme Court at some point in order for it to overturn the laws, right? The federal laws, because they're
I don't
not
know. I mean,
voting on it. They're not. It's not getting. I mean, they're not doing it that way. So, do you think that Bo is going to be the one that goes like this? His case.
What, because it's like still half legal?
Yeah,
like,
like because
not
it's
all the
only
way.
legal in this. Because they're not. I mean, they're obviously. I think a majority of the states do want to legalize marijuana. And they're not, and that should overturn the laws, right? I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about it.
You think
Like,
it
even
would?
though it's legal, it's half legal or something? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So Andrew, what would like if this were like, let's say that Bo was to federally get charged federally with something? Will he they would go to the Supreme Court, right? Is that a goal at this point?
I don't know. I don't know that
How
much.
amazing would it be for him to have his name? Because it's gonna. I mean, they have to legalize it.
A landmark decision at some point.
Yeah, with his name on it.
That would be crazy. But I mean, it was so interesting, and just interesting to watch this thing and to like come to fruition. Like he didn't have any. He got the land. He put down $5,000 right at the time. And then I guess once you do, it's called earnest money or good faith money or whatever. So that got him like 120 days. So then he raised money. Like he put this whole. He's now got $5 million. He showed me the bank account thing. I'm like, holy shit.
So what's his plan? Like, is he gonna do like? Is he gonna manufacture products, or is he just selling the weed, or is he gonna have his own line? Like, what's the plan? Or maybe this is something we can't talk about now. I didn't know any of this was going on.
Well, here's the coup de grace is his goal is to have a full campus, like a Google campus, a Facebook campus, an Apple campus, or whatever. So he's got these 45 acres that he's bought. Now he bought 22. He just bought another 22. So it's now 45 acres out in the middle of Addison. And he's gonna put an amphitheater out there, and he's gonna do an annual festival where he's gonna have alcohol and weed, one of the only festivals in the country where you can actually smoke weed legally at the festival. And that's coming up in like September. And it's just the stuff is crazy. Like I thought
the legal part of it's cool, but the Freaknik was way before. You guys probably have no idea what that is.
What?
And there used to be a festival in Atlanta called
I was
the
about to say
Freaknik.
in Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. and it was nothing but weed. It was like the biggest, like, so there'd be all kinds of, it was back like Outcasts, like there would be concerts and shows,
Yeah,
and it was amazing.
I could never go to any of those things. I can't get high in public. That's just
That's where.
Oh
no.
yeah, I'm not. No.
I need to be safe at home. You know, and I get high there because I don't trust anyone else around me when I'm high. I'm too easily messed with.
Yeah, those are the kind of parties where they put like a bowl on the intake of a leaf blower and light it, and then they just blow smoke like into a crowd. Have you ever seen that? It's pretty amazing.
No, that's hysterical.
Yeah, I wouldn't
crop
be good at
dusting.
a pot party either, Tifo. I'd like to be at home chilling. I don't.
Yeah, and plus I fall asleep, so like I'd be like, yeah, party.
Well, you have to get the right. So you have to get the right weed. So like you'd have to get sativa. Like, there's
The
see,
right
there's it's a
stuff.
whole science. It's not like what used to be
Oh.
when I was a kid and we just take a blunt to the face.
Wait, they have energy drink weed now?
Yeah, well, sativa kind of. Sativa does energize you more. Indica makes you sleepy, and it's like a down buzz, and sativa is more like an energy buzz. But like for me, sativa's like not. I mean, I still don't want to go. It's the being high part, that because like you said, I'm so easily I'm so slow when I'm high. Like so yeah.
Go ahead, Dexter.
So yeah, Gina, you're right. So you have to do the right stuff, because I remember back in the day I was at this house party, and it was like mostly in like this like we were in this bedroom at some point, and like I did a gravity bong, which I had never done before. And, you know, literally 5 minutes later, I am passed out on somebody's bed, party going on around me.
Yep.
I can't move. I can't speak. And the best part was I was like, there were like friends of mine there. And the next day at brunch, they were like, no one talked about it for the longest time. And then someone whipped out a photo. They had gotten around me and taken a photo around me while I was passed out sleeping.
Oh,
Comatose.
Okay. Here's the last piece of this meeting that we go to. So there's 5 people there. We show up 20, 25 strong. So there are 25 people in this little tiny room. And they say the Pledge of Allegiance still before the meeting. So everyone stands for the Pledge of Allegiance, right? I pledge, and everyone's reciting it, okay? Then the Pledge of Allegiance is over. I'm in the back of the room, right? Pledge Allegiance is over. Everyone stands. Everyone starts to sit down. I start to sing, "Oh, say."
I can't stand you. I can't stand you.
They all go to stand back up real quick.
I cannot.
Did it
stand
work?
you.
You got it going? Did it work?
And I stopped. And I was like, "Just kidding." And they're like, "Oh."
I cannot stand you. Why, of all people, did he invite you? Like,
during the meeting, they have 4 board members, right? During the meeting. So there's 4, and they're voting on dumb shit or whatever that you do. Because we were last. They make us go last because we weren't even on the agenda. Bo just crashed the city council meeting. They put us on at the end. But after each vote, they'd go, Barbara Sears, yeah, I, blah, blah, blah. And how would I this dude next to me that came with me, he's like, Andrew Z. I go, I was the 5th vote because they had a 4-person panel. I'm like, well, it can't be even. I got to be the 5th vote. He would call my name like, I don't know, it was crazy. It was unplanned, and it was just like unplanned craziness. I'm like, what is going on right now? It was so unreal. All right, last thing I got before we get over to Tifel. This woman wakes up during her surgery and sues the hospital, saying that she could feel everything. She went under anesthesia.
One of my biggest fears.
It is one of my biggest fears as well. So it temporarily paralyzed her, but barely anything to provide pain relief, and nothing. And for 35 minutes, she was under an operation. She woke up during an operation 35 minutes after the operation had already begun. She said she was traumatized. She could feel everything. Oh my God. She suffers from PTSD now. The staff seemingly recorded their discovery with her that her propofol was not connected to her during the procedure. This happened in Colorado. So this shit just started to wear off. she woke up during her surgery and felt everything. I'm like,
with new advancements nowadays, it's a lot more rare for this sort of thing to happen. Even as early as like the 80s, it was a lot more common for patients to where, because there's three parts to your anesthesia. There's the sleep, there's the paralytic, and then there's the, because it's one of my biggest fears, Gina. I researched my fear.
Well, did anyone ever know that, aside from Tifo, did anyone know this was an option? Like, what in the hell?
Yeah,
I've never heard of it.
There's the sleep, there's the stuff that puts you to sleep, there's your pain medication, and there's the paralytic, so you don't like jerk around while they're messing with your insides.
It sounds very scary.
And now it is entirely possible for the pain and the sleep agents to wear off if they're not paying attention, and you just have the paralytic and you can't communicate that you're awake. And that is one of my biggest fears. It's a lot more rare nowadays, but there's whole support groups for this sort of thing.
Oh my God, Chris.
And you're the leader of the support.
You Tifo.
Why would you bring this to my attention? This is something I did not need to know. I've made it 43 years.
It's also
without
part of
knowing
the reason
this.
why I refuse to get put out at the dentist office. I don't need some freaking med school dropout that decided to specialize in teeth to be messing with trying to put me to sleep in pain management.
Dentists aren't med school dropouts. They didn't go to med school.
Dentists are quacks.
Dentist.
Yeah, dentists don't even go to med school.
It's I was
do
being
you not go
purposely
to the
absurd.
dentist? Let me see your teeth.
I go to the dentist. I refuse to be put out. I only go for locals.
Funny. All right, Dustin Smith says, "Wow, this shit is weak." Tiger King. How about Tiger Woods, y'all?
Andrew, just
up,
don't
Dustin?
read every comment. We don't have to read every comment. Like if it's, let's screen them. If it's,
okay,
yeah, we do. yes, we do. Posted it. What up, Dustin?
D Money.
I'm strong.
D-Money.
I'm a man.
Wait, what was he? What's weak, Dustin? Like I kind of am wondering about that comment.
Was not strong.
No,
yeah, but I don't understand the meaning of weak, Dexter. I mean, like, what was he? What specifically did he think was weak?
At 7:01, I don't know, he posted at 7:01, which would be 16 minutes ago.
I thought we were talking about Tiger King.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what he meant, so I didn't say
All right,
anything.
people, it's time for WTF News with Ebenezer
Guess
Bushra.
what that means?
What's that mean?
It means it's time for me to go.
Oh, well,
I love you, Tifo.
Oh, me too.
I love you, Tifo, but your news sucks. No, I'm just kidding. It's because I have to leave. I don't want anyone to really think that I dip out because I don't like Tifo or his news.
Right, no, you know.
oh. He
All right,
already
bye,
WTF'd
guys.
me.
Bye, Gina.
Tifo, go ahead.
Bye, Gina.
Story number one.
She hates me.
My day is F.
No, it's 1 of 4. All right, don't be trying to change shit now. And we take our first story. Takes us to Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. Aliquippa. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not a Pennsylvanian.
Keep her name out your motherfucking mouth, Tifo.
The Aliquippa Junior Senior High School has now implemented a new rule regulating the amount of snacks students can bring in with them. They claim that there have been excessive snacks being brought in by students, like 2-liter sodas, family-sized chips,
Awesome.
Things like that. They've also had at least one incident of a student bringing in edibles. So they've decided to limit it. So now, so they decided to limit it rather than, completely ban it. Students will be allowed one 4-ounce bag of chips and like a 20-ounce soda to be able to bring in.
I remember,
and they have to be sealed when you come in. If you come in and you have the snacks and they aren't sealed, they get thrown out. If you bring more than what is allowed, the excess gets thrown away. Then they have similar or same rules applying to you bringing your lunch, and your lunches will be searched.
Go ahead, Dexter.
So is this like the TSA of schools now?
Yeah.
Like snack police?
Snack police. I remember in the old days, the best day of the year, every once in a while, my mom would not have to go to work or go in early or come get off early. And she would go to McDonald's and get me lunch and then bring it to the school. And then they would call me up to the office, and I would get, like, in the old days, that was the coolest thing, was I was able to eat like real McDonald's food while everyone else is in the cafeteria. Like, oh man, you got McDonald's? Sure did.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then and then there was one, and then it was in high school. When we got to high school, we had an open campus. They called it an open campus. So if you had a note from your parents, you could leave for lunch, and then you would come back. So we would go to In-N-Out, and we would get food, and then sometimes we'd come back. It was a 50-50 shot whether we come back or not.
You know what I discovered when I turned 18? Because I grew up in California as well there, Andrew. And what I discovered when I was 18, by California law, once you're 18 years old, you're able to excuse your own absences.
Yeah, you can write your own note.
If you're still in high school when you turn 18, you can excuse your own absences.
That is true.
And I took full advantage of that.
Please excuse Andrew from.
Please excuse myself from school today. I wasn't feeling it. Signed myself.
I wasn't feeling it.
It's the same in Ohio.
Is it? The best. All right. Number 2.
Yeah. All right. So, second story. We're going to talk about Kenneth Manzanares. That's how I can think about pronouncing his name. Right now, he is charged with murdering his wife on an Alaska cruise.
Whoa!
Not on a cruise.
During a murder mystery dinner.
Oh man!
What? Decided to make it a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, we want to take it to the next level.
Of all the harebrained schemes.
So while other passengers were enjoying the murder mystery dinner, Kenneth was apparently killing his wife. He was found with blood on his hands, his shirt, all around the cabin. There was blood apparently. This guy was not neat and clean with his murder on a cruise ship where he could have like thrown her overboard on there and it'd been like no DNA. But he decided to go messy on there. But yeah, passengers got quite the shock when they heard the real screaming and discovered what had been done on there. Terrible. Just kind of added that little bit of realism to their murder mystery dinner.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
Well, does it ever freak you out, like when you go to like a haunted house or something? You ever get in your mind that one of them could be real, like one of the guys that come up to you scaring you, that's the best time to actually kill somebody would be during, and you start to freak yourself out?
No, I've never ever thought of that. And now I will, and I've never thought of waking up under anesthesia, and now I will. This is officially the worst show we've ever done. Most terrifying show. Can we redo this show on Halloween? Because this is the scariest show we've ever done.
Andrew Z in the morning, bringing your fears to life.
Right.
I just imagine though. Like I feel like I would. I feel like if I were on that ship, I would be one of the passengers. I'd be like, "No, guys, this is actually part of the mystery. Don't be fooled. This is actually the second murder that we have to solve. They're all actors." Meanwhile, like she's like the guy's like walking around bloody. I'm like, he's an actor.
Yeah. This is fake news. This is where all the fake news that we've been fed over the last 6 years pays off.
The guy covered in blood is a misdirect. The real person who did it was the cruise director.
It's a misdirect. He was probably shaving in this. There's a little rough seas.
Yeah.
And,
red herring.
Yeah, it happened.
Red herring.
All right, number 3.
We are going to Beijing, baby. Beijing International Airport, to be specific. Did you guys ever watch the movie The Terminal with Tom Hanks?
Loved it.
No.
So for those of you that didn't see The Terminal with Tom Hanks, he played a guy who was stuck in limbo at an airport because his the country he was coming from no longer technically existed while he was in flight, and so his passport was no longer good. And so he couldn't get through customs, but he couldn't board another flight to go anywhere else because, again, his passport was no longer good. So he was just stuck in the international area of the airport and had to live there on there. And so he had to find ways to survive and all that stuff. Well, we Jianguo, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just going with that pronunciation.
Okay.
On there, has decided to do it for real life. He has been living in the Beijing airport for 14 years.
Whoa.
14
on there. Years.
14 years?
14
Does he have his own
years.
like broom closet?
Yeah,
like
so
you can have that.
He has food packages, belongings, a sleeping bag, all in the waiting area. On there, he has decided to live there, which is it's only about 12 miles from his actual home. But he refuses to go home because his family gave him an ultimatum: either quit smoking and drinking, or you can't live here. And so he chose smoking and drinking over his adoring, loving family
In the airport?
I mean,
in the airport. And they have employees at the airport have said that he has been encouraged to leave many times, but has refused and gets angry. The great thing about this story is he's not the only one. There are actually about 6 or 7 people that live full time at the Beijing International Airport.
Wow. How's he making money? Like, is he buying anything?
He gets about 1,000 won, which is about $119 a month in government stipend. For some reason, it didn't really explain why he gets that money, but his family was saying that he had to quit drinking and smoking. But if he wasn't going to quit drinking and smoking, he had to give them his $1,000 won monthly allowance. And then he was like, well, if I do that, how am I going to smoke and drink?
Then he told his family, the only way I tolerate you is smoking and drinking. So that is not going to work.
Mean, come on, let a singer sing. Come on.
So, but now what the kicker about this is actually not that uncommon. The world's most famous airport for people to live in is actually the Iranian Mehran Karimi. It was Iranian Mehran Karimi Nassiri lived in the Charles de Gaulle terminal for 18 years.
Jeez.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I mean, free cable.
Free cable. All right, finally.
All right, last story. It also deals with flight, but brings us to New York.
Hey!
Yeah. You're not going to be proud of this one, Dexter.
Yeah,
Dexter, do you know him?
So Antonio Sherrod McGarity is facing federal charges stemming from an incident, actually 4 incidences on a Southwest flight. Turns out Sherrod decided to self-pleasure himself on the aircraft 4 times.
Jesus.
Wait.
How long was his flight?
So apparently he was seated next to a woman who ended up taking pictures of the incident and turning them over to police. She shared those photos with flight crew, who then moved her seats, thankfully. He, for his part, said he didn't think she minded. He thought it was kinky.
Right. On that note,
I'm so confused.
That's not what the Mile High Club means.
No.
Right.
So it was
like he's halfway there.
and I apologize for some reason. And I apologize. Reading a little bit more here. The story is tagged as New York, but it's a flight from Seattle to Phoenix. So that's how long the flight was. So however long it takes to get from Seattle to Phoenix, this guy busted a nut 4 times.
That's not far.
No.
It's like an hour and a half, maybe 2-hour flight.
He's a jackrabbit.
4 times.
So
I mean, how many times does drink cart come? I feel like you'd be dehydrated.
I honestly don't. I just want to put this warning out there. Don't masturbate on the airplane. I feel like, do we need to put signs up? We have little no smoking signs still up there, as if anybody thinks it's okay.
Who is you? Who is you?
No
I
smacking?
mean, this guy got arrested for it, so I mean, obviously, you shouldn't be doing it.
All right. Thank you, Tevel. That is WTF News with Ebenezer Bushrod. Donnie P, if someone wants a car, where can we go? I don't even know.
Taylor Kia, Toledo, 6300 West Central. Hit me up on here. Message me.
Dexter, if you need a car, you need to come to Toledo to get it.
Hey, I'm there.
Nobody drives in New York. Too much traffic.
Would
You
you
just park it.
I'll fly there, but I'm not flying Southwest after that Tifel story. I'm
Are you
not going to do it.
Right.
Are you ever going to come visit us?
I mean, I feel like I should. Like, I feel like I should, but it should be like a surprise. Like, hey guys, I'm here.
He'll get drunk.
I'm living at the airport.
Toledo Express.
Yeah, Toledo Express. Either is it International Gate 1 or Gate 2?
Right.
We only got 2 gates. All right, Dexter, how are we here to see you on TikTok? I love your stuff.
I am Dex Vidal 4.
All
Check
right.
me out.
There you go. Thanks, you guys. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.
I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo Digital Media.
Come on!